Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining me. I've got Yishai Knobel. He is the CEO of Helparound as my guest today. Yishai, let's dive right into it. Give me an idea, or give our audience an idea, the type of work that Helparound does, and then I want to get into a couple of questions I have for you, okay?
Absolutely. So when we look at, we hear a lot about the drugs that they cost a lot of money, and there's a lot of debate about them. But there's actually a lot of work that is going on into preparing each one of these drugs for the market. And there are teams in pharma companies that are preparing the launches of these drugs. And it's quite an ordeal for actually a very small population of patients. So if you take, and these are called specialty drugs. In specialty therapy, or specialty pharma, launching a drug for a rare disease, or it can be for 20,000 patients, requires a lot of handwork, because these type of drugs require, first of all, getting awareness, then getting the patient the prescription, then going through a process that's called prior authorization, which is getting them with insurance, then getting them the nurse, for example, very often to come to their home, show them how to inject. Then you're going into kind of the copay distribution. There's a lot of work, and as companies launch these drugs, a lot of patients are kind of struggling, and it's very overwhelming, because these conditions, these diseases, are very difficult on patients as it is. So what Helparound does is bring a lot of transparency into the process, helps the families navigate a life-changing diagnosis, for example, diseases like cancer, cystic fibrosis, kidney disease, and at the same time, we are helping the pharma company, the brands that launch these drugs, help them better support patients, because everybody has a vested interest that the patient does well on that drug, and we provide our mobile platform to help identify where the patient is in their process, what kind of help they need, and make everything smoother for both parties.
All right. What diseases do you work with when you're helping people and being able to, and I looked at your website, and it tells me that you're also using AI for behavioral forecasts so that you can remind them of the drugs. But what diseases are you working with your app?
So you could take, for example, the work we're doing in kidney disease. So one of the most exciting therapies out there is home hemodialysis. So instead of going to the clinic 3 times a week, there's actually a machine that the patient can take home and dialyze while they're home, watching TV or spending time with their family. Really exciting. Company called Next Stage Medical out of Boston. And but at the same time, getting to a place where you're comfortable taking a machine, the dialysis machine, to your home and connecting it and plugging it in and then sitting for 3 hours, that's pretty overwhelming. So with Helparound, patients come in and they are offered this tool on mobile that is going to walk them through the process. And that tool also has an ability to chat back with the patient support team. And if they have any questions, if they have any concerns, there's also community support there of other patients who are also doing home hemodialysis or are interested in that. So we've created this experience for the patient that is really all-inclusive around that specific therapy. And the company benefits because they get to be with the patient when they go home and stay with them and offer support, just like we used to expect any service today. We can not just in healthcare. Part of the technology here is really the data piece. The data piece means that we collect a lot of data from different sources that help us understand when is the best time to engage the patient. For example, when a patient is dialyzing, that's actually a very good time to engage a patient, meaning offering content or message or matching them potentially with another patient who can help mentor them through the process. On the flip side, messaging them when they're driving is a really bad idea, because A, it's not safe, and B, they're not going to engage. So these are just 2 small examples of how we try to identify based on what the phone is doing, where the phone, how the phone is behaving, kind of build patterns that would just tell us when is the best time to engage that patient. And we have several partners. Neura is a strategic partner of ours that helps us figure out that kind of behavioral profile. We also partner with several of the other players in the ecosystem that help patients throughout copay administrators, for example, kind of helping them replace the plastic copay cards with an all-inclusive experience on mobile, working with patient hubs that help the patient through the process, through the insurance process. So we connect to a lot of stakeholders to bring one experience both for the patient and for the manufacturer.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Tell me about the exposure into the marketplace. Where are you finding your clients?
So specialty brand teams are our partners and our clients. Every pharma company, many of the pharma companies are gradually switching to the specialty model. It's actually on its way to be half of all drug spending in the U.S. For very small populations, less than 2% of prescriptions, but still a massive part of the business. And the reason is that the more advanced medicine gets, then we realize that lung cancer is not just lung cancer. There are 10 types of cancer within lung cancer. And each one of these 10 subtypes have specific therapy that target each of the subtypes. So each one of them can be considered a specialty therapy. Very often it's a biologic drug. That also is a big trend. And those require that special hand holding. It's not just a pill you go to get at CVS or Walgreens. You very often need to inject. You very often need to visit the doctor. You need to do some blood tests beforehand. But at the end of the day, the medicine is getting much more personalized, much more specific to you and to the specific diagnosis that you have. So that's our target. And there's a big conference next week happening in Philadelphia, part of the World Congress, called Integrate. It's all about specialty therapies and how we can take all the stakeholders and bring them together to provide the smoothest experience for patients in this really difficult time of their life.
This is brilliant. I can see it being adopted globally. Are you using your own funds to grow this company? Are you growing it organically, or are you looking for capital formation, other people to come in and partner with you?
Yeah, so we actually are a venture-backed company. We are backed by several great funds, and we also have a strategic investor in our company in the specialty space, and we are definitely working with several partners. Some of them also bring capital to the work, to the partnership. And in addition to just creating business opportunities together.
Okay, so you are taking on partners. It's just that they're going to have to go through your venture capital company that's partnered up with you. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, we always have conversations with potential investors, regardless of our existing investors. Mm-hmm. We are always open to the conversations, and when they come from companies that know the space really well, and that's a bonus.
Got it. All right. Well, thanks for being a guest. Unless there's something I left out, some important part that I may have missed in my questions, please you bring it out now. Great. Yishai, thanks for being a guest on the show. Really appreciate that. You've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba on location in California. We'll be talking to you soon. Thanks for watching this.